there may be a second wave, if you will, of the medical crisis that is afflicting us at this time, coming later in this year, 2020. What are you going to do? Hi, I'm John McNeil. This is the Invest Strong Network. Welcome. We are living in very, very perilous times. Now, obviously, I don't really need to tell that to anyone, but we really, on a financial level, we really need to forge a way forward. But how can one forge a way forward in such an uncertain environment? Well, one can do, as I've mentioned in previous vids, focus on the highest quality assets, hold those, and just ride out the storm, right? So that's one way. But how ferocious will this storm be? Well, we know it's already pretty ferocious as it is, right? If it comes again, and perhaps in a more serious fashion in the fall or the winter of this year, it may make this period look like a walk in the park, right? Now, thinking about how much money the government and the Federal Reserve printing, distributing, it's mind-blowing. It truly is. I mean, on a political level, you have, people from all parties who, just a few years ago would have dropped dead with a stroke if they had seen the government writing stimulus checks in the multi-trillions of dollars. And here we've actually had several of those in a row, with more to come. So the question becomes, will this be inflationary? Well, yes, it will eventually be inflationary, right? But do I have visions of Venezuela or Zimbabwe or Weimar Germany in my mind? No, I don't, right? Let me tell you why. The Federal Reserve is basically creating digits and printing money like never before, right? There's probably smoke emanating from these printing machines of all of the dollar bills that they're cranking out and delivering to people. But notice carefully how the Federal Reserve has operated, right? So what they have done through their quantitative easing policy, they have not just thrown money hither and thither. No, what they have done is they're actually acquiring assets in exchange for the funds that they are giving to these banks and investment companies and ETFs and whatnot, right? So it's not like they're just handing money out. They are, in fact, receiving an asset in exchange. Now, what exactly the quality and value of those assets? Well, it is being reported that the Federal Reserve is paying perhaps more than they are worth, to acquire them. And that's okay with the Fed because they're basically trying to keep everything liquid to make it through this medical crisis. But the point is that they're not just handing money out, printing it and hithering it out, handing it out hither and thither. They're actually receiving an asset in return. And by doing that, it'll be much less inflationary than other issues that we've seen. Also, let us not forget, the United States of America has a very diverse, very dynamic economy, right? And so even if there is, in fact, mismanagement on the government level, we have entrepreneurs and corporations and things like that, management that can make the best out of a not so bad situation, and they can keep inflation under control, right? Every time I walk into Walmart, right, or every time I purchase a ticket on Southwest Airlines, or every time I invest using the Vanguard mutual fund system or Robinhood or one of these other online apps, you come to realize that you can actually, even in the worst, amidst the worst kind of government profligation as it relates to expenditures, you can still operate at a bargain level, right? Not have to worry about inflation. So that is a blessing that we have in the United States of America, right? Now, what about interest rates? Well, obviously, interest rates are going to stay low for a long time. Now, in the last financial crisis, actually, interest rates were around zero for some 6 years, from 2008 all the way to 2016. And I actually envisage something similar to that going on this time also, right? So with low interest rates and with a dynamic economy, we may be able to survive the worst of the inflationary spikes due to the federal government printing money and sending running enormous deficits going forward, right? However, long term, we have some big problems, right? I mean, even before this medical crisis came, the government was already running sizable deficits because of a tax cut from a couple of years ago. And also we have baby boomers. The whole country is aging, right? And that's more pressure on Social Security. That's more pressure on Medicare and other government programs. Now we have a situation where state and local governments will be under an enormous amount of pressure because of lost tax revenues. The federal government is probably going to make up a lot of that loss through more grants and benefits. We in this country are going to have to get used to living with less, right? And so whether we're talking about pensioners or the middle-aged or millennials or the babes, right? Whichever generation we're talking about, we are going to all have to learn how to live with less. And certainly less coming out of Washington and less coming out of your state and local governments. Get used to it, right? Otherwise, we just have to knuckle down and make it through this crisis, right? It's going to be hard. It's going to be bitter. We can do it. We hope for better leadership on a national level. Certainly I do, right? And hopefully we'll either get it out of this administration or the next, right? All right. So just wanted to impart those thoughts to you. Hopefully you found them beneficial. Please smash that like button. Love you for doing that. Smash the like button. Also, leave a comment. Love the comments. Please do it. I read each one personally. And subscribe. All right. Thank you so much and good luck.